Hi there, Tanya here. Now, this radio interview that is going to follow is all about finding purpose again. Finding purpose after you've been through a major adversity in life. This is one of the parts of my upcoming book, From Grief to Greatness, which is going to be released at the end of January 2023. I dedicate an entire part to rediscovering purpose again, rediscovering who you are in a way, and where you are going. Because when we've been through adversity, sometimes it feels as though life has been cut in half and part of you is gone. So I go through how to find meaning again, how to find joy again, how to be brave and be bold in what it is that you want for your life ahead. It does mean doing things that, once we make a decision on what we want, we do need to get up and actually take action. So I talk about that as well. Anyway, I really hope you enjoy the interview because this was something that was very important to me when I found myself in a very dark place in my 40s. I'm sure you may have been there yourself. It's about making the decision to get up and live again. And I encourage you to make that decision, because what's the alternative? Anyway, I hope you enjoy the interview. It's a radio interview, so just sit back and relax and enjoy the next 8 minutes where I talk to you about how to find meaning and purpose again in your life. Bye for now.
Now, something which we've been doing over the last few weeks is going chapter by chapter through the new book by Tanya Unkovich. The book is autobiographical in some ways, but gives us step-by-step instructions on how to recover from perhaps something traumatic that has happened in our life. The book is called From Grief to Greatness. Tanya joins us on the program once again. Tanya, kia ora, good afternoon.
Kia ora, how are you both?
Yeah, doing well, thank you. Now, thank you so much for sharing this with us. And I know for a lot of people, this is really, really helpful stuff. So what we're going to delve into today is the search for purpose after you've been through a major life transition. So for you, what did this look like?
Well, it was like being chopped in half in a way for me because it all happened when I was 40. And I had my life planned out. And you know what they say, the way to make God laugh is create a plan, right?
Yeah.
And it changed so suddenly. And thank goodness I had faith because I was able to come to a place of acceptance and very quickly after Phil died say, okay, your will be done for me. You show me. And it actually meant really listening to my instinct, listening to God's whisper and hearing what it is. They may have only been baby steps, but what are my next steps? And that was how it started for me personally, and it's one of the things I encourage people to do after they've been through any adversity is take a bit of time and just be silent, be quiet. You don't need to rush out there and do everything quickly, but just listen.
Sometimes it can be really difficult, I suppose, finding God's will in difficult times. And I mean, the book of Job comes to mind, of course, from the Old Testament, when a whole bunch of stuff which doesn't make sense to us at all happens in our life. It can be easy to cry out to God, to blame God, and to say, why has this happened to me? Perhaps a better question is, God, what is your purpose in these difficult circumstances? How can I redeem this tragedy for your glory?
Yeah, and interestingly, I went back and read the book of Job not long after Phil died. Because it's very easy to create stories and go, oh, maybe God's punishing me for something, But you can't go down that rabbit hole. You've really got to turn it around. And I thought, well, Lord, maybe instead of punishing me, you're preparing me for something that is so great I can't even imagine. I just need to trust the plan you have for me, not listen to my pain, feel it, but not listen to it and create a story out of it, but continue to trust you. And that is where we surrender. That's the big word, surrender.
And I think for many of us, it's about dreaming again, right? And is that what was the case for you?
Yeah, look, and I've always been a dreamer. and always created vision boards and written down so I could visually see what it is that I would love for my life. And I started doing that very quickly, actually, within the first few months, because I had to try and get excited about something and look forward instead of looking forward with dread, but just to look forward with joy. And I just started dreaming. I started looking back at what it is that brought me joy, what makes me happy. And, so often after adversity, we're left alone and we don't know who we are anymore. So we've got to go back and revisit, well, who am I now? Yeah. What is it that I love doing? And how can I create something out of this? I knew very quickly Phil wanted to write a book about his journey with cancer, and literally within maybe 2 weeks, I heard very strongly inside to write the book for him. So that was what was one of the benefits out of me just quietly going, okay, well, what do you want from me now?
Important to take it from the dream stages instead of coulda, woulda, shoulda, saying, actually, let's have a plan around this. Let's take this vision, this idea of what we want to do, and put some structure into how it's going to happen. Now, may not happen overnight, like the ad says, but actually, let's put some legs on this.
Yeah, and you actually have to do the work. You've got to enjoy the dreaming, but take action steps. And so often people look at the big picture and then they become overwhelmed by looking at this big picture, and it's too scary, so they don't start. So you just do little steps at a time. And that was what I did. It was too hard for me to, say, for example, delve in and write the book straight away. I had to do really baby steps. And it was about a year before I started to actually write the book. But it didn't stop me from dreaming and knowing what's it going to feel like one day when I hold this book, this legacy for Phil. So I was dreaming, but I still didn't take action straight away. But eventually I did. You've got to go at your own pace too.
Now, I know you, Tanya, you can be pretty bold with some of the things that you do. And I'm thinking that it's an opportunity, I guess, to be bold with some of the dreams that we have.
Yeah, and you don't have to have gone through adversity in order to be bold with when you're finding purpose. Just, dream big and believe that there is greatness within you that maybe you haven't allowed to shine yet. You haven't claimed your shine. You haven't allowed yourself to be seen or heard or whatever it is. And I just encourage you to do it. It wasn't easy the first time I stepped on a stage and talked, but I did it. I kind of went into this little pretend mode.
Yeah, sure.
And you do it. And that's what we have to do sometimes. Pretend you're already there and just do it anyway.
Faking it till you make it, I think that's called, Tanya.
Yeah.
Good week to be talking about this. Of course, it was Thanksgiving, of course, yesterday, and earlier in the show we're talking about how despite some difficult things that we face, hallelujah anyway, finding some reasons to find joy despite less than ideal circumstances, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I often say to people, no matter how much pain you are in, no matter what the adversity, there is something good in it. You may not quite see it yet. It may be in God's purpose, but believe that there is something good in it. And that's what we have to do in life, whether you've been through adversity or not, whatever is going on in your day. When you're feeling grumpy, just ask yourself the question, what is good about this? So there must be something good, and you'll find it. You'll find it if you search. And just by doing that enables you to turn your thinking around straight away, because you'll focus on what's good and not what's bad.
And I guess it's all about letting go of some of those things that we know are holding us back, right?
Yeah. I mean, if we can find an excuse not to be brilliant and not to be great and not to be happy, we'll do it, right?
Yeah,
let
this is
go
true.
of the excuses. Just let go, look forward, enjoy the present moment, enjoy your day, and believe that there is something amazing happening for you in your life. Even though you might be suffering in the moment, just never stop believing and dreaming.
Finding your purpose. In fact, you could have called this Purpose-Driven Life, but that's already taken, right?
I know. Wasn't that a great book?
Yeah,
really
exactly.
good book. Hey, Tanya, thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to where we go next with this one. From Grief to Greatness, it's out late January. Thanks again for being a part of the show.
You are welcome.